Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Sunday night live stream. Can you hear me all? Please let me know. Hello, hello. Tonight is Sunday, January 12th. Thank you, Andre. I appreciate that. Hello, GR, Arlen, Abdi, Fasting Like a Champ, A, Keto Goral, Noreen. Hello, welcome. Welcome to another Sunday night live stream, everyone. Tonight, we are going to be talking about building mental discipline through fasting. Easy enough topic, but I think one that a lot of us forget is it is something that you build through this journey. And I'm sure for many people who have been on this fasting journey, who have been on it for an extended period of time, you all realize that there is a lot of mental discipline that you have to build to not only get through one fast, but to be consistent and push day in and day out. And that's where tools like Imperfect consistency can be really helpful, because it can help you get through the waves when you're building that mental discipline, as you're building that mental discipline, as you're going through your ups and downs when it comes to your fasting journey. So we're going to get into that a little later today on the stream. I just want to let people know that today is my refeeding day. So today's stream won't be super long. We're going to be right at the 1 hour mark, because right after I finish, I'm going to be refeeding. So it'll be a quote unquote shorter stream today, not my typical hour and a half or closer to 2 hours type deal. But I still want to be able to cover as much as I can. So that's what we're going to go through today. When I talk about building mental discipline through fasting, if you think about it, anything that you do that is tough or challenging will push you out of your comfort zone. And I think that's where a lot of us start to struggle, because sometimes people think that, well, I want to fast, but I just want to make this as easy as possible. And I think we all know that fasting, you go through some shit while you're doing it. For some of us, a lot easier than others, and easier is probably not even the right word. For some of us, it's not as difficult to navigate through. I've obviously been doing this for quite some time now. So I don't have a lot of the struggles that I did when I initially did this. But there is always a part of me as days go on, as I'm fasting, where I will experience discomfort. And if you think about it, for many of us, instead of feeling discomfort, we just want instant gratification. Oh, my stomach hurts. Oh, I feel hungry. Oh, I'm hangry, right? They put up this bullshit word. And what do? You go feed that hunger immediately. You're not even questioning whether or not that hunger is just in your head, or are you truly, truly hungry? Instead, instant gratification. And that's where stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something, when you hear people talk about facing discomfort, they always, not always, but usually what comes along with that is growth, right? It's something I've learned over time as well. Facing discomfort is what has allowed me to grow. It's also what has helped me to understand more about myself. But again, I want to I want to be able to talk about this in length in a little bit. But as I talk about this and as I continue on, I want you to think about this as well. When it comes to fasting and what you're doing, what do you think your biggest mental challenge has been? For me, I think with as long as I've been doing this, when I think about the actual mental challenge or building mental resiliency through fasting, for me, I think the hardest thing that I'm dealing with right now is how can I just keep going? How can I avoid burnout? I think that might be the biggest thing for me at the moment because I know I can do this. I think the question is, can I continue doing this in a healthy way where I continue to grow with myself too, right? Because I've realized at this point, it isn't just about losing weight. It's also about not just even being healthy. Of course, that's what I want, but also, can I do this and feel happy? And I do. Right now, I do. But it is something that I think about every now and then. Sometimes I'm on my couch and I'm like, is this really something I'm going to do forever? And in most cases, I tell myself, yes. There's no other way that I can see myself living my life without having fasting as part of my lifestyle. But just a food for thought, for lack of a better term, now that I'm thinking about it. So I kind of want to remind people while we're in here too, that this is an accountability live stream. So I run this live stream every Sunday to share my accountability, to be honest and transparent with where I'm at and what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. I have realized over the last, today is day 434, over the last 14 plus months, over the last 62 weeks, showing up and being accountable is what keeps me consistent, is what keeps me successful on my journey. So that's why I have these Sunday night live streams, but this is also a place for all of you. This is a community-based live stream where this isn't just about me talking about where I'm at and what I'm doing, but I hope this is also a safe space for all of you to share what you're going through on your fasting journey. So if you're new here, or if you are a regular viewer, I appreciate the support, but also know that you can use this space to share what your journey is like. And remember, this isn't just to talk about how long you fasted for. This can also be a place for you to ask questions, to talk to other people in chat. This place should be a safe space to let others know if you're struggling, if you're having a hard time, if you find yourself cycling, if you find yourself out of control and you're looking for help. Please understand that this is a safe space for all of that. Such earthly delights with a $5 super chat. Such earthly delights. Have I seen you on here before? I'm not exactly sure. Thank you for the support. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Such earthly delights with a $5 super chat says, hi, how do you manage stressful job/conditions in life and fasting? So far, so hard not to binge after a hard day. This is a big one for me too. This is one of the reasons I found myself falling back into my binging back in 2021. I don't know if you know my story completely, but if you go through my YouTube channel and watch my past videos, you'll see this is the second time I've lost this weight. The first time I lost this weight, I started back in 2019. I had gone from 220 pounds down to 125 and then gained it all back. And part of me gaining that weight back was because I had taken on a new career. I actually worked as a social media manager, but I was also their food photographer. Of all the jobs to take, I decided to take on a job where I had to not only photograph food, but I had to buy the food, plan it, set it up, stage it, and shoot it. And that was very stressful for me. And that's not to say that obviously I don't have that job anymore. And I'm not saying that I don't have stressful moments today. It is still something that comes and goes. But maybe the best way I can put this is, for me, and this is something I'm going to talk about later as well, I no longer turn to food when I'm stressed in any capacity on my fasting days. Now, that isn't to say that on the days that I do eat, I'd be lying to you if I said there wasn't a part of me that still uses food to relax, chill out, de-stress, because it still happens. But the difference is I don't let it happen to me on a day-to-day basis. For you, when you talk about how to manage those stressful job or conditions, you have to think about what is exactly triggering you then. Think about the timing. Are you getting triggered at the same time? Is it someone at work in particular that's triggering you? Is there something that is set in motion that triggers you because of work? And if it is, and you can pinpoint that, the first thing to maybe think about there is finding ways to, I don't want to say eliminate that stress period or that trigger point, but maybe a way to alleviate it. Also, at the end of the day, even if you say, well, I can't avoid it, it's going to happen. That is where what we're talking about today makes a lot of sense. Having mental resiliency, having discipline in what you're doing, because you can think about it like this too. No matter how stressful that moment is during work, and this is no different if it's work or if it is somebody that pisses you off, or if it's something where you feel overwhelmed with whatever it might be, right? I think we all know that eating or binging or overeating isn't going to fix it. Sure, it'll be a temporary relief. It'll be nice in the moment. But if you can remind yourself what it makes you feel like after, because for me, when I used to deal with it in that way, yeah, temporarily it would feel good, but man, would it destroy everything else around me. And then here I am trying to pick myself up and fix all the shit that I just broke around me. To me, it isn't worth it. And I know that in the moment, it doesn't matter. And maybe that's how you feel. What does it matter? But if you think about it, it matters a lot. There's a lot. I can put it like this too, is you might not be able to control the things that are happening around you. You might not be able to control everything that happens in work, but you can absolutely control what you put down your throat, what you eat for the day, what you drink for the day. Even just that small amount of control and being able to succeed in that can be such a huge reward in the end. So I know it doesn't answer everything, but hopefully that's helpful in that regard. So I appreciate the donation, such earthly delights. Appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Abdi with a $5 super sticker. Abdi, thank you so much for the support as always. It's great to see you. Thank you. Always, you're always here and you're always showing up and you're always supporting. So thank you so much, Abdi. Appreciate you so much. Let me go ahead and continue on here. So again, remember, this is an accountability check-in for all of you. Please let us know how you're doing. If you're struggling, if you need help, if you have questions. I might not be able to answer all the questions right now. I usually answer them later in the stream, but there are other people on here as well that are very supportive and very helpful. So appreciate you all for doing your part as well. One question I have for all of you, and you know what that question is going to be. It is Sunday night right now, at least for some of us. For others, it might be Monday. But for any of you that are here right now, are you watching this saying to yourself, you know what, I'm going to start on Monday and I'm going to watch Jerome talk about this because he's going to motivate me and inspire me? I guess I'm just curious, are you here in that moment right now? Are you here because you told yourself you're going to start on Monday? The question I have that maybe, well, my question was, are you waiting till Monday? But the follow-up question to that is, why are you waiting till Monday? Why didn't you start earlier? Why didn't you start during the weekend? And if the answer to that was, well, it's the weekend, Jerome, I wanted to enjoy myself during the weekend. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that, right? But why do you have to start? Why do you have to wait till Monday? Why couldn't you have done things for yourself this weekend without throwing away the day? Perfect example, right? My last refeed was on Thursday. Okay. My last refeed was on Thursday. And as I grab my phone here, my last refeed was on Thursday. I'm currently 68 hours fasted right now, right? So that means I didn't eat on Friday. I didn't eat on Saturday. And I'm going to eat tonight. But there goes my weekend, right? Oh man, that must suck for Jerome. What a shitty life. And actually, that's one of the things about mental resiliency too, is for me, I don't look at it like that. I frame things very, very differently. This weekend was pretty busy for me. I had a lot to do work-wise, and I got a lot of shit done because I also didn't have food to worry about, to think about in that regard. Not only that, but here we are now on Sunday, and after this live stream, I get to enjoy my refeed, and it's going to be great. I didn't say to myself, oh my God, I'm hungry. I can't make it. I don't know. Right. And I'm not just giving myself that instant gratification because I know that I have excess fat to lose. I know that I will be fine getting through a day of fasting. That is me reframing my perspective in that sense. So hopefully, I guess what I'm trying to say is if you're here watching this right now and you told yourself that you're just waiting till Monday, let this be the last Monday you do that. Let this be the last time you tell yourself day one. Let this be the last time you start over. Let this be the version of you that can come back here next week and be like, hey, Jerome, I'm on day 6 or day 7 or whatever that might be. What I love when I go through the chat later on after these live streams is I love when people are updating and saying how long they're in their journey for, how much weight they've lost because they have just done something in a imperfectly consistent way, have done something where, hey, it's okay if I don't fast for as long as I want to. I'm not going to throw away the day. I'm just going to refeed, hit my timer, and go again. That's what I love to see. That is what I am trying to teach anyone who comes on here is, hey, it's okay if you didn't fast for that long. Hey, it's okay if your refeed went a little long. Hey, it's okay if you overate. Hey, it's okay if you didn't get your workout in today. The real question is, what happens after that? Do you pick yourself back up or do you cycle? Meaning, okay, I'm going to start tomorrow, but if I can't get that long fast I said I was going to do, then what's the point? I'm just going to wait till Monday. And that's my hope for all of you. Today is January 12th. How many of you came in here weeks before and said, I was going to start on January 1st. Hey, more power to you if you can be honest and transparent about it. But I know there are probably other people who are watching this who are just like, yep, that's me. But how many of you said you were going to start on the 1st of January and then found yourself just cycling and cycling and cycling and cycling through? Telling yourself, today is going to be the new day I start. Tomorrow is going to be the new day I start. Let that be the last time. Enough of it. There's no reason. There is nothing wrong with just getting through a fast, learning from your mistakes, hitting the timer and going again. Right? I am 62 weeks into my journey. 62 weeks. Okay. You hear me say this every week, but imagine where you would be if you just did something imperfectly consistent for 62 weeks. Doesn't have to be super long fasts. If they were OMADs, 16 hours, an occasional 36-hour fast here and there, but every single day you showed up, you hit your timer, 16 hours, 18 hours. Some days you overate, other days you ate really well. Other days you ate really clean. Some days you fasted. Other days you got 10,000 steps in. Imagine if you did that consistently every day for 62 weeks, 434 days, doing something imperfectly consistent. Think about where you'd be today. 62 weeks, 1 pound a week, 62 pounds down. 2 pounds a week, 124 pounds down. Sorry, my math is not the best. Even if it was half a pound a week, imagine where you'd be. Think about where you'd be right now, 31 pounds lighter, 62 pounds lighter. Had you just done something imperfectly consistent, had you just shown up regardless of how long your fast was. So many of us get hung up on the length of our fast and really forget the importance of just showing up and doing the best you can for that day and not throwing away the day. There's so much importance when it comes to that. Shari with a $10 super chat. Shari, thank you so much for the super sticker. I can't exactly see what that looks like right now. And I the same for Avdi, but I will take a look at this later. Shari, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Appreciate you. I was going to see if Shari had said anything, but I don't see a chat on here. And then Fate, Shari, thanks again so much. Fate SI or Fate SI with a $10 super chat. Fate, thank you so much for the support. Appreciate the support. Fate says, hey, Jerome, I've been watching your live streams and a big question I have is how did you balance imperfect consistency with lack of discipline when you started? I'm still pushing, but struggling. So let me see if, first of all, or Fate, thank you again for the support. Thank you for the super chat. Fate is asking here, how did you balance imperfect consistency with a lack of discipline when you started? Okay, so this is something that comes up with a lot of people that I coach. This is something that I hope you can maybe take with you as you move on your journey. But when I talk about imperfect consistency, when you combine it with something like lack of discipline, when I work with anyone, the first thing that I ask of them is, hey, don't worry about how long your fasts are. Don't worry about what you're eating. Don't worry about the exercise that you're doing. These are all things that we can work on as time goes on. Usually when I work with people, the only thing that I want from them is to show up every day, to show up. It doesn't mean that you have to work out super hard. It doesn't mean that you have to fast forever. You've probably heard me say it. You've probably heard me say it in my videos, but here's the thing too. As a coach, my coaching style has changed over time. And just like fasting, my journey changes. Just like coaching, my journey changes too. The way I do things. And at this point, one of the things that I really push with anyone I work with is, can you show up? Can you show up not only for me, but can you show up for yourself? Because that's really where it counts. So when you say lack of discipline, where is that lack of discipline? Is that lack of discipline in your eating? Is that lack of discipline in your fasting? Because those are the two things that you should pay attention to first is, okay, you can't get past a 13-hour fast. show me that you can do 7 13-hour fasts in a row. You know what I'm saying? Can you actually hit a timer and show me that 13-hour fasts are what you can do? What about your refeeds? Are your refeeds out of control? Is it because you're eating so much? What kind of refeed can you do? An 8-hour refeed, a 6-hour refeed? Show me that you can do that 7 days in a row. Show me that. Actually hit a timer, log it down, show me, right? Because if you can do that and you can build that habit first, we can work on optimizing what that habit looks like. Now, this is something that you can do on your own, but at the same time, it's why I offer accountability coaching, because if you need that type of accountability where we have a conversation and be like, okay, let's talk about it, right? Yeah, you've been doing 13, 7 days in a row. That means I know you can push. I know that you can do 13 and a half eventually, 14 hours eventually, 16 hours eventually. You know what I'm saying? That can get better over time. So when it comes to lack of discipline, there are so many things here that we forget about, because maybe your lack of discipline, you're just thinking about fasting and nothing else. You're not thinking about the refeeding. You're not thinking about the exercise, strength training, your sleep, so many other things. This is about fixing your habits. This is about getting out of your old habits. So Fate, hopefully that's helpful. I will say, if you are looking for additional help, there is a link in my description when it comes to coaching. So please take a look. If I can help you in that way, I'd love to. So Fate, thank you again for the $10 donation. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Oh, wow. There's a lot more. Okay. Give me 1 second, everyone. Musa. Hi, Musa. Thank you so much for the support with the £5, right? £5 super chat. Musa, thank you so much. Hi, from UK. I'm 1 month into my fasting journey. Congrats on getting through a month here. I was similar size to you when you started. How long did it take you to really notice a difference? I don't think I really noticed a difference until a couple months in. Here's the thing is, while I didn't notice a difference, other people noticed a difference like weeks in, literally weeks in, but also it was because my fasting regimen was so aggressive, because I lost 80 pounds or 36 kilo in 5 months, that I think it was maybe 3 or 4 months in before I really noticed a big difference. But before that, I was just like, yeah, I can kind of see it, but I didn't realize how big the difference was. Mm, until maybe I would compare pictures or photos, but a lot of other people noticed. And maybe that's very common, because for me or for anyone else who's losing weight, you see yourself every day, so you might not notice it in that regard. But yeah, Musa, you'll have to let us know how your progress has been a month in. Um, Hopefully that helps in terms of the question. I will say, don't worry about not seeing a big difference right away. I think if anything, you are going to realize if you can just be consistent and stick with it, you're going to find success. So, Musa, thank you again for the support. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. EJ with a 5 Australian, right? Super chat. EJ, thank you so much for the support. Appreciate you as always. EJ says, yo, Jerome, I'm in the office, but I got you in the background. EJ, it's so nice to hear from you. Thank you for the support as always. I've stuck to the plan. You know what, EJ, I was actually wondering, I know when you and I last spoke, you had emailed me too to let me know what your progress was like, but I was kind of curious how it's been working out for you. So I'm glad to hear that things are going well. I love that for you. Please keep me posted. Let me know how things continue to go. I look forward to the next time you and I get to talk again. And yes, you didn't die. Yes, exactly. Right. Not only that, right. In our email, I think you also said the world isn't going to, well, right. The world isn't going to end, and it isn't. And you're here and you made it. So EJ, congratulations to you. And again, thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Dan Tana is a new member of the Finally Fasting fam. Dan, how's it going? It's nice to see you. Dan, I thought we're supposed to catch up, you know? I thought we're Chicago guys. We're supposed to um Dan and I go a long way back. Can we throw some F's up for Dan? Dan, you probably have this emoji too. Anyone who's part of the Finally Fasting fam, you have this F in your emoji pack. So please, let's throw some F's up for Dan. Dan, thank you so much for the support. Appreciate you. It's nice seeing you. Hopefully we can catch up soon. Also, Suzanne, am I saying that right? Suzanne Bach one. Suzanne Bach one also became a part of the Finally Fasting fam. Can we throw some F's up for Suzanne? Suzanne, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Dan, Suzanne, I don't know if you signed up for the OMAD tier or the autophagy tier, but either way, I appreciate the support. If you signed up for the autophagy tier, I'll see you at the next live stream. We actually don't have one this coming Wednesday, but we'll have one the following Wednesday evening. But both of you, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Okay. Let me go ahead and move on here. I hear you, Dan. Appreciate you, Dan. Thank you so much. Okay, let's move on here. Remember, all I'm only going to be here for an hour today. I am refeeding tonight. So like I showed you all earlier, I'm currently 68 hours fasted. I am refeeding tonight. I am looking forward to my refeed. So we're going to keep this moving. So let me go ahead and let me just share quick nerd stats. Today, like I said, is day 434 of my fasting journey. I am 62 weeks in. That is over 14 months. If you were to look at the weeks, 62 weeks, that's actually 15 and a half months if you were to divide that by 4. But if you divided it by 30, it's more like 14 and a half months. In the last 434 days, I have completed 162 fasts, which means that for 272 days, I have not eaten at all on those days. At all. On average, I have been fasting for 57 hours and 56 minutes. So almost 58 hours. I have been fasting on average for about 2.5 days, a little under 2.5 days. My average refeed is for 6 hours and 2 minutes. So the better way to put this, right, is in the last 434 days, I have been performing rolling fasts that have been on average 58 hours. 58-hour fast, 6-hour refeed. 58-hour fast, 6-hour refeed. Rinse and repeat, right? Now, think about this too. In the last 434 days, that doesn't mean that every fast has been 58 hours. Some of those fasts have been 90 hours. Some of them have been 160 hours. Some of those fasts were 10-hour fasts, 12-hour fasts. Some of those fasts were back-to-back eating days. So if you think that fasting is just about fasting for long periods of time over and over and over, you're sorely mistaken. I have now, in the last 434 days, gone on a 6-day vacation, gone on a 10-day vacation, gone on a 13-day vacation. I have eaten back-to-back days. I have had long refeeds. I have had some really good days and I have had some really bad days. But you know what? None of those days I have given up on. Every single day is a day of progress, is a day of growth. There is no starting over. There's no waiting till Monday. There's no waiting until the 1st. Every single day is a day of growth. Keep that in mind when you are on this journey. This isn't just about fasting and saying, hey, everyone, I did a 7-day fast. Look at me, right? This is more about, can you fast? Can you be consistent? And can you show up even on the hard days? That to me is the bigger question. That to me is the way I look at it. The more impressive stat is how consistent can you actually be? How many days can you say, I've been doing this for? That's what I ask. That's what I look for when I work with anyone that I coach. Okay. Fit check. We'll do fit check. And then I'll have about 20 minutes. I will probably maybe spend 10 minutes on talking a little more about mental resiliency, mental discipline. And then I will do 10 minutes of Q&A. And then I'm going to have my refeed. So we'll do fit check. I have... I do this every week. I need to update these every time I say it, and I never do. Okay, we're going to do fit check. Fit check is where I stand up and show you my physique of where I'm currently at. I just want to remind people of my journey. I have been an overweight, obese person my entire life, morbidly obese at one point. At my heaviest, I used to weigh 235 at 5'3". I used to wear a size 38 waist, almost a size 40 waist. I used to wear an XL shirt or usually a double XL shirt because I needed something to cover my stomach because it was so big. Currently today, I'm currently wearing a size extra large boys shirt, and I'm currently wearing size 14 boys pants. So let's do this really quick. Again, a reminder, this shirt here is a size extra large youth. And these pants here are 14, whatever, size 14 for boys. If you're not sure what those sizes look like, go to Target, pick up an extra large or a large boys shirt. Both of these were bought at Target. So just so you know where I'm at physically. Front shot, side shot, rear, side, flex. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Yes, I do have loose skin. This question gets asked a lot. I think even when I wear this, like you can see like there's loose skin here. You can see some here. I mean, I'd have to like bend over to but I mean, I'm grabbing it, right? That's loose skin here. But it's also a combination of loose skin and fat. It is something that people ask me about all the time. I do these live streams and I say this every time so people can understand that, yes, even though I fast, I still do have loose skin. The most obvious loose skin is right here. I do this every week. This is the one that I am most self-conscious about, right? You can see it doesn't bounce back. I mean, I've explained this before. One of the things that for me was the biggest difference is when I lost the 90 pounds back then, when I went from like 235 down to 125, the biggest noticeable difference was not only my stomach, but my neck. And like, you can see how that skin is just, I'm also 44 years old. I don't know if that skin will ever tighten back up. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. I do also have loose skin on my upper arms. You see it right here, right? I have loose skin on my lower stomach, on my upper inner thighs. One of the things that I do though is I try to lift heavy, and my goal right now is to lose any more excess fat on me and build as much muscle as I can. That is one of the biggest things that is on my game plan for year number 2 of my journey. Lifting weights is, for me, it's also really enjoyable. I enjoy doing it. I always will sit here and flex as well, right? I just like the loose skin is still here. It's still pretty apparent, right? But even when I flex, I just feel like things are tightening up, but you can see, right? It's still like, let's be real. It's loose skin. So I don't want people to think that at least in my personal experience, it hasn't disappeared. It doesn't just, and I'm okay with it. And whatever I decide to do about it in the future, we'll see. But right now, it's not my biggest concern. My biggest at this point is continuing to have good blood work to keep the weight off, to just be happy and healthy about me and myself. And that's what I hope for all of you too. Sometimes we get so hung up on our number on the scale. Sometimes we get so hung up on how we look. And then we forget that sometimes the real important part here is, are you happy and healthy? Because if I think about my past, when I lost all that weight, I always thought to myself, when I get down to this weight, everything is just going to be perfect. Life will be XYZ. And that's not the case at all. You get down to that weight and then it's like, okay, what's next? Like you start to face reality and you're like, oh shit, I got to keep doing this, right? It isn't just like, I'm at this weight now. See ya. Bye. Everything's going to be fine. No, it's still a lot of work that needs to be done, taking care of yourself. And that's something that you have to be mentally prepared to as well. So it's a really good segue to kind of talk about building not just right, like mental toughness, building that, being resilient, being self-disciplined. When earlier, when I talked about stepping out of your comfort zone, I really do believe that fasting requires you to step out of your comfort zone. You all know that. If any of you have tried to perform a fast, you know that you have to step out of your comfort zone and face a little discomfort. Facing that discomfort is what will inhibit growth. But this isn't just growth in a physical sense. This is also growth in an emotional way as well. This is how you build discipline. This is how you build mental resiliency, by stepping out of your comfort zone. Think about it like this. I used to be somebody who would use food anytime I felt stressed or bored or happy or sad. Food was always the answer. Food was always the coping mechanism. You just heard me say it earlier. I'm on day 434 of my journey. For 272 days, I have not eaten. In those 272 days, I could not use food to cope. I have not used food to cope. When in the last 40 some years, I have only used food to cope. Do you see what I'm saying? In those 270 plus days, I have learned to realize that I have some real shit I need to deal with. And I have always used food to ignore it, run away from it, escape from it. You need to get out of your comfort zone. And this isn't just through fasting, but I'm just explaining to you how fasting is more than just losing weight. Fasting will force you to deal with your shit. If you're like me and you're using food as a coping mechanism, you have no choice when you're fasting but to now face reality. And maybe you might deal with that reality in a different way. That's something I noticed, and I've said this before. 272 days of not eating, it doesn't mean that I'm going head to head with my demons per se. But what I found out about myself is, okay, I'm not using food to cope. You know what ends up happening? I use this couch to cope. I use this TV to cope. I cannot tell you how many times, instead of me doing the work I need to do, I'll lay on this couch instead, turn on the TV, and pretend nothing is happening, even though I know I have shit that needs to be done. Through therapy, explaining it at a therapy session, I realized, oh my God, I'm just using one way to escape with another way to escape. Do you see what I'm saying? So me realizing this has now peeled back another layer of some shit I've had to deal with. That is me facing my shit. I think this is something a lot of us don't think about or talk about because we can't face that reality, or we just think that fasting is about losing weight and nothing else, and then forget the whole mental part of it. That's why when people talk about just do this and eat this and eat that, it's like, dude, not everyone can do that. We're not robots when it comes to that. We're actual fucking human beings who have to deal with our shit from time to time, and a lot of us deal with it in a different way. That's just the reality of it. But you're not going to get there if you keep running away. If you keep throwing away the day instead of facing what reality actually looks like. I hope that makes sense, at least in that regard. I want to remind you, as we're talking about this, that hunger comes in waves. It does. Hunger comes in and out. It's part of who we are as human beings. Our body is signaling to us that we should eat. Hey, you haven't eaten. Now, I think there's another difference here, though, when it comes to the chemical reaction or whatever in probably some of the processed foods we eat, but I don't know the science behind too much of that at this point. What I do know, though, is hunger is normal. Our body is going to tell us we're hungry. Sometimes our mind is going to tell us we're hungry, even though we probably aren't. The one thing I have learned is that over time, the waves of hunger that I have are no longer as strong as they used to be. The waves of hunger that I have lessened over time, and they will for you too. But I also want you to understand that sometimes when you are facing hunger, that's just your body of saying, hey, I'm hungry. I'm going to let you know. And that's part of discomfort. And that's part of growth, is learning to accept that and knowing that that's just how life is sometimes. There's really no other way around it when it comes to that. Andre, with a $10 super chat. Andre, thank you so much for the support. As always, Andre, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. J-Man, on my goal of doing back-to-back 90s in January. I wound up doing 265s and began a 90 today. First of all, congrats on just being consistent, right? And even as Andre says this is a perfect example of imperfect consistency. The fact that, because Andre's already had a lot of progress and Andre's always been here and sharing with us his journey, and I know has been on a roll lately, but look at this here too. His goal was to do back-to-back 90s, but here he is doing 65s, being honest about it and saying, look, they weren't 90s, but they're still 65s. Not what I planned, but moving on. I'm learning to get over my perfect record mentality. And see, this is what I'm talking about too, right? So congrats, Andre, and thank you so much for the support. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Even when Andre is here sharing this, sometimes that's where we get caught up on. I cannot tell you how many people I talk to, they will tell me, but Jerome, I've done this before. I don't know why I can't get there right now. I've done this before. I don't know why I can't do it now. To anybody who is watching this and has said that to themselves or has said it to me, what does it matter? What does it matter what you did before? Look at where I was 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I lost 95 pounds, right? I lost more than 100 pounds if you really think about it. At my heaviest, I was 235 and I was down to 125. I had lost 110 pounds. But I'm not reliving that moment anymore. In fact, I gained all the weight back and I just said, hey, this is what I'm going to do. If it happens, it happens, but I'm just going to show up and just figure my shit out. Right? At one point, you're just going to have to let that shit go and move on with your life. Even as Andre talks about doing 90-hour fasts and doing 65s, here's the thing. 3 months from now, if Andre remains imperfectly consistent, it's just a drop in the bucket because he's continued to be imperfectly consistent and gaining progress over that time. What is it going to matter 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now? You don't see me here talking about day whatever it was and saying, oh God, I remember that day. I was feeling burnt out, or I ate back-to-back days that day, right? Drop in the bucket. Why? Because I've been imperfectly consistent. I've just been pushing on with my life. Face your discomfort even when failing, right? Stop looking at it as a all or nothing type thing. You're either succeeding or failing, right? Failure is just that opportunity for growth. Failure is that moment where you get to learn from your mistakes. Don't abandon your fast. Just because you didn't fast for as long as you wanted to doesn't mean that you just abandon it altogether. It doesn't, when I say abandon, I'm talking about throwing away. Just because you end your fast early doesn't mean that you can't keep your refeed short. Just because you end your fast early doesn't mean that you can't make better choices in your nutrition. Just because you break your fast early doesn't mean that you can't take those extra calories you just ate and go work out. Don't abandon your fast. Don't abandon your journey. There's no point. Don't start over. Don't wait till Monday. Don't wait till the first. You're wasting your time, especially if you find yourself cycling over and over. Okay, I want to take some time and do Q&A. I only have probably 5-ish minutes, but I will try to answer as much as I can. I will say, please ask them now. I will try to answer. I will like rapid fire these questions and answers. But in the meantime, I want you to all, I want to remind you all that I do offer coaching. You can find the link right here. You can also find the link in the description. If you are looking for any type of coaching when it comes to fasting, weight loss, or accountability, please feel free to reach out to me. You can find the link in the description. When it comes to coaching, I think one of the biggest things that I have learned over time is for most of us, we are looking for accountability. We are looking for a way to show up. You can tell yourself all day, I'm going to do a 48-hour fast. I'm going to do a 90-hour fast. The moment you don't want to do it anymore, who is there to tell you otherwise? If you are looking for accountability in that type of way, please reach out to me. This is what I do. I think for me, it is such a helpful tool. That is why I am always showing up for my coaching sessions. That is why I am always showing up for these Sunday night live streams. That is why I am always posting publicly my progress, no matter good or bad, on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. I am always showing up. That is my accountability. Where is your accountability? I'm not saying you need it with me, but I'm saying if you need that accountability to help you get to the next level, if you feel like you have a gap in what you're doing because you're cycling over and over, please reach out. My goal is to just be able to help people if I can. So, okay. Oh, wow. I think we might be good here. So let me just go through some of this really quick because I don't see questions on here. Jacob says, Jerome, I just want to say I'm extremely thankful for you and all that you've done for my fasting journey. Jacob, I appreciate you. And you know what, Jacob, like I said, it's not that I see you. I always see you in here every week. I go through all the comments. So I appreciate you engaging and sharing with others and talking about your journey as well. So I'm proud of you for being here, Jacob. Thank you so much for the kind words. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay, Musa's asking a question here. Musa says, when doing 65 to 90-hour fasts, do you get heartburn? And if you do, what can you do to help? So for me, I personally don't experience heartburn. I will say before I started fasting again, I was getting really bad acid reflux, but that was because I was just eating like shit. So that was different. I personally don't experience this, but I know other people have. That is something that hopefully other people in chat can help out with. I know that this is an issue for other people, but personally for me, I have never experienced it. So you might see what other people might have to say. You could probably do a little research on Google, but please keep us posted. If you do find a solution for that, please let us know. I would say like maybe that's where a Tums could help or something like that. But I know like Tums has, I don't know if Tums has sugar in it or something, but yeah, that I'm not exactly sure. You'll have to keep us posted. Thank you for the question though. Thank you so much. You guys are so kind. I appreciate the kind words here. Yeah, Nessa, thank you as well. So thankful I found Jerome and learned about rolling fast. 50 pounds down and counting, thanks to 60-hour rolling fast with a 6-hour refeed. Nessa, that's amazing. Congratulations. These are the chats I love reading through later on because it's so nice to see that people are finding success maybe where they have never found it before. But not only that, I think some of us are finding success because they've started to realize, oh shit, I don't have to do things a specific way. I don't have to be super hardcore. I can give myself grace and just keep pushing on. And so, Nessa, even for sharing that, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. That's great. I love seeing that. Logan with a $5 super chat. Logan, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate you, Logan. Logan says, hey, I've done 96 and one since August 18th. Oh, 96-hour fasts and 1 hour refeeds. That's amazing. That's wow. That's kudos to you, Logan. Since August, 5 months. Yeah, over almost 5 months. Congratulations. Logan's lost 110 pounds from 275 to 165 thanks to me. Okay, first of all, I'm honored. I'm honored to hear that success. Like that is just, that's so amazing to hear. I love that for you, Logan. At the same time, also remember, this is all you too, Logan. I mean, that's a lot of work putting these fasts and doing something that long. Logan, I love that for you. And again, Logan, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I'm glad that I've been able to help you in that regard too. I'm just going to say this because to me, what is mind blowing for me is the fact that I love that I am able to help people that I haven't even talked to some of you. I know there are some people who have probably found success and I've never talked to you before, but you've at least incorporated some of what I've shared and used it to help yourself. And that is my only goal, is that you are able to find success, but that you're also able to find health and happiness in what you're doing, especially if you're starting to find relief in the mental part of it. Because I think so many of us get caught up in the mental game, right? Like the mental part can be the hardest thing. And that's why, yes, I talk about mental discipline here. The last YouTube short or Instagram reel or TikTok I made was about like how aggressive my fasts were. But there is a reason I talk about imperfect consistency. There is a reason I talk about giving yourself grace, because I think for many of us, we beat ourselves up too much and don't realize, hey, if I just stick to it and can be consistent, I don't have to do things hardcore all day, every day, that we can find success in that way. So no, Logan, congratulations. I love that for you. That's great. Um, Logan, I see that comment there and I feel you on that one too. So I totally hear you. I totally hear you. Couple things. I know so many of us get caught up on the number on the scale, and I'm just here to remind you to not worry about what that number says. Sure, it is hard to walk away from that number. It is hard to disconnect ourselves from what that number says, but I'm going to remind you that your value is so much more than just what the weight on the scale says. The value of your worth today is still the same as it was 6 months ago, as it is 6 months from now, as it is a year from now. I don't know. My hope is I will maintain my health and happiness from here on out. But I also know that the number on the scale doesn't devalue me in any type of way. Remember to continue to respect yourself, accept yourself, and love yourself for who you are today, in the past, and in the future. Last thing, just as a reminder to all of you, I am currently 68 hours and 42 minutes fasted, almost 69 hours. Nice. And I want not, okay, listen, this fast, I'm ending this fast today. I'm completing another 65 plus hour fast, but this will be my sixth 65-hour fast in a row. Okay. If you don't know, or if you're unaware, I am doing 65-hour fast for the entire month of January. And I just told myself I'm also going to do it for the first 2 weeks of February. By the time I am done doing 65-hour fast, I will do 17. I believe it's 17 in a row. I say all of this to remind you that you are not alone on your journey. You are not alone on your journey. Think about everyone here in chat today. Think about all the support that has poured through. Think about everybody sharing their story. You are not alone on your journey. We are doing this together. I tell this to everyone that I coach, but I'm not just a coach, right? I am also your partner in this. We are doing this together. There is no part of me that is not pushing, that is not rooting for you as well. So please remember that while you are moving on your journey. That is all I have today. I am ending this earlier than usual. It's still an hour's worth of content. So hopefully it was worthwhile. Hopefully you learned a bit. Hopefully you feel motivated and inspired. I want to thank everybody for stopping by today. I want to thank everybody for the super chats, the super stickers, for people joining the Finally Fasting fam. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. I will have another video out tomorrow, most likely. We will do this again next Sunday. That is all I have to say. Please do not wait for Monday. Stop waiting till Monday. Stop starting over. And you know what? If you are waiting till Monday, let this be the last Monday that happens. Let this be your day one where you just move on with your life and you never look back. Today's day 434 for me. There's no part of me that will ever say, welcome to day one. I don't want that. I just want to keep continuing what I'm doing. You're not alone in this journey. Remember that. Okay, everyone, thank you again so much. Thank you for stopping by. We'll do this again next week. All right. I'll see you soon.